towering stems stained purple, dark berries hanging in heavy clusters, massive leaves spreading across roadsides, fields, and forest edges. To some people, pokeweed is a dangerous, poisonous plant. To others, it is a traditional food tied to generations of rural culture. Birds devour its berries, while children are warned not to touch it. And every year, people still debate whether this strange North American plant is deadly, edible, medicinal, or just misunderstood. This is pokeweed, one of America's most controversial wild plants. Pokeweed, scientifically known as Phytolacca americana, is a large perennial plant native to eastern North America. It belongs to the pokeweed family, the Phytolaccaceae, and is famous for its dramatic appearance. Mature pokeweed can grow well over 6 feet tall under ideal conditions. The stems often become thick and vividly magenta or purple, especially later in the growing season. Its berries ripen into deep, glossy, purple-black clusters that almost resemble grapes, and that resemblance has caused problems for centuries. Because despite its beauty, pokeweed is toxic. Nearly every part of the plant contains harmful compounds, especially the roots, mature leaves, stems, and seeds. Yet despite this, pokeweed also became deeply connected to traditional food practices throughout parts of the American South and Appalachia, which immediately raises the obvious question: how can a poisonous plant somehow become food? Pokeweed contains several toxic compounds, including Phytolaccatoxin, phytolaccigenin, and other irritating saponin-like chemicals. These compounds can affect the digestive system and other body systems when consumed improperly. Symptoms of pokeweed poisoning may include nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, diarrhea, weakness, and in severe cases, more dangerous systemic effects. The roots are especially toxic, and the berries, while visibly attractive, are also capable of causing poisoning, particularly in children. Historically, accidental poisonings occurred because the berries resemble edible fruits, and because the young shoots resemble other edible plants when emerging in spring. But pokeweed occupies a strange middle ground in ethnobotany, because humans learned methods to reduce some of its toxicity. In parts of the American South, especially Appalachia, young pokeweed shoots were traditionally harvested and prepared as a spring green known as poke sallet or poke salad. Importantly, this was never a casual process. The young shoots had to be harvested very early before significant maturation, and repeatedly boiled in multiple changes of water. This preparation process helped reduce toxic compounds. Even then, pokeweed was treated cautiously. Traditional plant knowledge often develops through generations of observation and survival. People understood which parts were dangerous, when to harvest, and how to prepare the plant safely. But modern experts still generally discourage experimentation, because improper preparation can still absolutely result in poisoning. Pokeweed exists in one of ethnobotany's most uncomfortable categories. A plant that is both genuinely toxic and historically consumed under very specific conditions, which makes it endlessly controversial. While pokeweed causes concern for humans, many animals interact with it very differently. Birds especially love pokeweed berries. Species throughout North America consume the fruits and spread the seeds across fields, roadsides, and forests. And unlike humans, many birds tolerate the berries surprisingly well. This makes pokeweed an ecologically important food source for wildlife. The plant also grows aggressively in disturbed environments. Fence rows, abandoned fields, forest edges, roadsides, and clearings. Its rapid growth allows it to quickly colonize open ground. So despite being viewed as a nuisance or weed by many landowners, pokeweed is actually part of a larger ecological system supporting birds, insects, as well as other wildlife. Like many striking plants, pokeweed accumulated layers of folklore and historical use. The berries were sometimes used historically as dyes and inks due to the intense coloration. There are even stories suggesting pokeberry ink may have been used during parts of early American history. Medicinally, pokeweed appeared in various folk remedies and herbal traditions, though many of these uses carried serious risk due to the plant's toxicity. Some people viewed pokeweed as powerful medicine. Others viewed it as a dangerous poison. And honestly, both perspectives contain some truth. Pokeweed demonstrates one of the central themes found throughout ethnobotany. The difference between medicine and poison often depends entirely on preparation, dosage, and knowledge. Without that knowledge, dangerous mistakes happen very quickly. Part of what makes pokeweed so fascinating is that it refuses to fit neatly into a single category. It is poisonous, edible under specific preparation, ecologically important, culturally significant, medicinal historically, and visually beautiful at the same time. The plant almost feels symbolic of humanity's complicated relationship with nature itself. People want simple answers. Safe or dangerous, useful or harmful, medicine or poison. But plants rarely work that way. And pokeweed may be one of the best examples in North America of how blurry these boundaries can become. Pokeweed grows quietly across much of North America along roadsides, forest edges, near old homesteads, and forgotten fields. Most people walk past it without thinking twice. But hidden inside this towering wild plant is a story involving toxicity, survival, rural traditions, ecology, and centuries of human experimentation within the natural world. Pokeweed reminds us that plants are rarely simple, and sometimes the species dismissed as weeds carry some of the most fascinating stories of all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.